What's up, YouTube? It's your boy JB, and we're here again with the final review. This is Our Kind of People, Season 1, episode. Is this episode 4? No, this is episode number 5. And the episode is titled The Miseducation of a Negro. I believe that's what it was called. Yeah, The Miseducation of the Negro. Now, you guys, we're going to be off with Our Kind of People until after the World Series, which I believe is November the 9th. So we're going to be off for about 2 weeks, I think. Or a week. 2 weeks. 2 weeks? November 9th. So if you guys are watching this video, stop taking me out on this date. Hit that subscribe button, like button, notifications on, share the video, and with that out the way, without further ado, let's discuss Our Kind of People, shall we? All right, you guys, so the episode, we see Angela and Tyreek, they're in bed, they snuggled up, cuddled up with each other, right? She tells him, hey, buddy, old pal, so I'm gonna need you to kind of just get up and skedaddle before Piggy and Nikki wake up. So, she asked him, then she also asked him, that camera that you had that you took out, when are you going to put that back in? Because I like that little bit of extra added security. So just needed that. He says he's working on it, which we know that's a lie. So then we see Raymond. So Raymond is texting his ex-wife. He's asking her for dirt on Teddy. You guys remember last week's episode, he went to New York, met his ex-wife, asked her for dirt on Teddy. She tells him, she's keep finding this company called Our Legacy LLC. He tells her he'll work on it, right? So we find out that this week it's cotillion week, right? So we see as Leah and Raymond present Lauren with her own horse, right? So Leah is really excited about this cotillion week, right? And she goes into her office to get the pearls that she's going to present to Lauren. Meanwhile, Teddy is in there, and she's like, why haven't you come out there? The reason Teddy hasn't come out there is because Teddy's having his tremors. So he tells her that, this doctor that he's spoke with is going to put him on this trial. And what he needs to do is he needs to reduce some stress. Leah decides that she wants to mention Ange. He says that he wants her to keep tabs on Ange. And she says, we also might want to keep tabs on Tyreek, right? Because she says that, there's no longer a feed coming from Angela's business. And she says that Tyreek told her he took the cameras out because of some technical issues, but she doesn't believe that. And, Teddy is telling her that, hey, he's trustworthy. And she said, what if he's not? He says, well, then heaven help him. So then we see Nikki. So Nikki is doing the photo shoot for Eve's crown. And then Piggy is talking to Ange. She's like, the toilet seat has been up for a few days. And Angela was like, yeah, she and Tyreek, they're dating, right? But at this point, she's just not ready to introduce him to Nikki. So then we find out that Nikki has done a college application for Spelman. And, they want to know about her community service hours. They want to know, they want to know a lot about her, right? So that's when Ange was like, what? I'm going to get her into that cotillion. So then we see Ange, and she's talking to that damn sister of hers, right? And Leah's like, well, I can't really do it. And this and this and this and that. Angela called bullshit on that, right? So then she says, when you look at Leah, there are times that you can actually see a decent side of Leah, but then there are other times where you see the devil. So Leah tells her, okay, you know what? I'll do it. But it's going to be $25,000. I need $25,000. She'll need this. She'll need that. She'll need this. Her hair done, her makeup, X, Y, Z, right? And Angela's like, you know what? I got you, sister. I got you. Let's pause here and move forward. All right, you guys. So we see Nikki. So Nikki and the other young ladies that are a part of this cotillion, as well as Lauren, they're with Leah. So Leah is telling them, about their place setting etiquette, right? You have your dinner plate, your salad plate, and your soup bowl. Those I know about, right? And then I just recently learned about the forks and the knives. But then Leah went deeper. This is the dessert fork. This is this fork. This is that fork. This is this fork. This is that knife. This is that. I'm like, well, damn. How many forks and knives are there? Bitch, just give me a fork. I don't care if it's big, small, or little. Big, small, indifferent. I don't care. Give me my fork. Let me eat my food, right? So then we see as they get to the part where the young ladies are going to they're having their dances with their fathers, right? So all the young ladies are their dads are extending their hands and they're dancing with them, but Nikki is still sitting. So then Angela puts on this blazer jacket, right? And she goes and she dances with Nikki, and they start dancing for a while, right? Until the devil comes up, Leah. So Leah comes up, she's like, oh no, we can't do this. Mm-mm. And Angela was like, but I'm the one that's raised her. I'm like her father. So then she calls this other man over to dance with. I'm like, you ain't shit, and you ain't shit, Leah. So we see Nikki and Taylor, right? So they're talking about their kiss, right? And Taylor's like, with me and you, I want us to still be friends. I want us to hang out. I want us to watch movies. And Nikki was like, I understand that the kiss was a mistake. I'm like, oh, poor Nikki. So Nikki is saying that she and Taylor are in a good space, right? So then Lauren comes in, right? And she is every bit of her mother. So she tells Nikki that she can introduce her to the rep at Spelman, and she can also get her an escort, right? So then Lauren, once Nikki left, she asked Taylor to escort, could they be each other's escort to the cotillion, right? Taylor agrees. So then we see Angela. Angela made a phone call after her hellish sister made that little debacle about her dancing with Nikki. So Angela, she's talking to Tyreek. She's asking Tyreek, will he be Nikki's Parker at the cotillion, right? So she gives us a little bit of backstory about Nikki's father. So she and Nikki's father met when they were in college, right? So he robbed some kind of a store, and his partner ended up killing the security guard, right? So when he did that, Nikki's father was then charged as an accessory to the murder. I'm like, damn. So she said he got life in prison, and she didn't want to, have Nikki in that environment. Which, like I said in last week's review, I understood that, right? So she's basically beating herself up because he didn't like that, but she did what she thought was best for her kid, right? And Tyreek tells her, "Don't beat yourself up," right? So then he tells her that Teddy asked him to plant those cameras to spy on her. And she was like, what? So she got pissed off at him, and she was like, you know what? Leave. Don't come back. I don't want to see you again. He tells her, you know what? He tells her he fell for her, and he fell hard. And I believed him in that scene. I really did. So we're going to pause here and move forward. All right, you guys. Next up, we see Nikki. So Nikki has this dress that she's trying on for the cotillion. Now, the dress, I was like, okay, it's not the best looking dress, right? And even Nikki didn't like the dress, right? So Nikki has actually found a dress that she does like, and she tells Angela it's a vintage dress. So Angela's like, you know what? Say no more. I'm gonna go look into it, right? And Nikki thanks Angela for everything that she's doing for her, right? And she's just kind of feeling a little way because back in, she says her friends in Boston, they don't have the opportunity to do stuff like this. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. So we see Raymond, we see Quincy, and Mama Liv, right? So they're at this gun range, and then this type of person, you guys can see this, right? This type of person comes out, not skin folk, talking about, ooh, you can tell when it's summer because the tint gets a little bit darker. I was with Quincy. The fuck you say? Like, I would have been ready to fight. Because I'm like, wait a minute. So is everyone in this ass backwards town outwardly racist? Because you guys remember last week. I'm like, okay. So, the gun range that they're at, this is Mama Liv's gun range. I'm like, wait a minute. So y'all on a black woman's gun range talking about the fact that you can tell it's summer because the tan gets darker. Okay. So Raymond tells Mama Liv that Teddy has locked him out of Dartmouth, right? He says he's tired of it, and she's like, I've been waiting for you to suit up since he bailed out Dartmouth. And then he tells her about Alex, and she says, she thinks he should think twice about that after what she did to the family. It took them years to recover. He said it's a done deal, basically, right? So then we see the dress that Nikki did want for the cotillion. It's a nice dress. And then she's talking to Angela, and she asks Ange, do you think Tyreek could be my partner? Angela was like, we broke up, right? And this is after he told her what he did, and she was like, so you broke up with him because he told you the truth? In a nutshell. So she tells Angela, you need to learn how to be more forgiving, which I agree with, right? So then we see Leah. Leah is doing some last minute details for the cotillion, right? So she's in bed and Raymond joins her. So then he asks her, about Our Legacy LLC. He says it's something Teddy's working on. He says, do you know anything about it? She says, if it is something that my father's working on, I don't know anything about it. So then, Leah, she ready to get it on and popping. So she was like, let's go to the showers. Let's go to the shower. She's like 5 minutes. He says, give me 3. So when she does go to the shower, he goes to her tablet. Don't know what he found, but I think he found something. I just don't know what it was. So let's pause here and keep it moving. All right, you guys. So you remember I was telling you guys that Teddy told Leah about the doctor that could give him these pills that could help with his tremors for his Parkinson's, right? So the doctor has given him the pills. He tells him that he has to follow, the directions to a T. If not, there could be catastrophic, results from it, right? So what he's to take one an hour. No. He's to take one pill every 8 hours. That's what it is, right? And if he deviates from that, then the results can be, like I said, catastrophic, right? So Nikki, we see her and Taylor's having a party, prior to her cotillion, right? So they're hanging out with each other. And remember, Taylor told her that things are good between she and Lauren, right? So if things are so good between you and Lauren, why are you kissing Nikki? Because it happened again, and this time Lauren saw it. I was like, ooh, I don't think that's gonna be good. So then we see Angela. So Angela called Tyreek over, and he tells her that, she don't have to worry about him betraying her trust again, right? So then she tells him what her theory is about Teddy, that Teddy supplied Edgartown with crack, and that he let her mother take the blame. And she tells him about, you guys remember the video in episode 1, then the camera cutting off. So he asks, she says, your father was a security guard. Did he ever talk about, drug dealers or anything? He says, not really. He says, but what I do know is that Teddy's brother, who was murdered by a drug dealer, he was really trying to clean that up. So him and Teddy were on opposite sides. And he says that, his brother had no wife and no kids. But what he did do was he journaled. So Teddy still has his big brother's journals, and they're in his study. So now Angela's like, well, I got to figure out a way to get into the house to go be able to look at his study. So he's like, well, he's hosting a family dinner, tonight after the cotillion. And she was like, do you think you could bring me as a date? He was like, that would be too suspicious. And she's like, well, you know what? I am family, so we're going to make it rock and roll. So then let's move over to Mama Liv. So she's talking to Leah. Mama Liv feels that Leah should, be like in the olden days, like, a wife knows her place and her place is beside her husband and to support him. And Leah's like, well, different times have changed and that's not me. So then Lauren is talking about how the fact that she's trying on her dress. Mama Liv doesn't like the fact that her boobs are out, which they really weren't out. It was a little bit. It was just a little bit of cleavage. So she's telling them that she wants Taylor to be her escort, and she was like, "Your little friend." She's like, "My girlfriend. I'm gay." And Mama Liv was like, "Oh!" She almost passed out. So she says, "No, we can't accept that." And Leah was like, "Yes, we can. You can bring her if you want to." Alright, guys, I'm gonna pause here and we're gonna wrap up.